Have you ever gotten a question or art request that seemed innocent, but unusual? For example, maybe someone gave you a request to draw your OC holding her breath. Or they asked what your OC would do if they suddenly were giant. Seems innocent enough, but something feels off, doesn't it? Today's story is more of a cautionary tale for young artists. When you haven't been on the internet for very long, it's easy to believe that the people in your fandom circle only have their best interests in mind. But I, a millennial and your newly appointed fandom aunt, know that that is not always true. Let me tell you a story of an interesting individual that used the naivety of a young circle of Sonic fans to get what he wanted, and maybe you will learn the red flags and avoid falling into a similar situation. The time frame for this story is about 2007 to 2009-ish, something like that. YouTube had a fairly decent community of artists with Sonic OCs. People would make speed paints or story videos with their characters in them, usually with good old Windows Movie Maker. Sometimes even crossovers would happen, with other OCs showing up in other people's videos. I, of course, was part of this community, making videos about my Sonic OC SNT. Keep in mind, this community was made up of mostly teenagers. There was one particular person that lurked in this community, waiting to strike. I'm still not sure how old they were, but either way, he was known for one very creepy thing. In case this person is still around, I'll just call him Cheerleader Man. But I will put a Mario hat on him, so people that knew him know who I'm talking about. As you can tell by the name, Cheerleader Man had an obsession with cheerleaders and cheerleader uniforms. All of his videos and favorites involved Sonic girls in cheerleader uniforms. So whenever he found a creator with a cute Sonic girl OC, he would go to the creator's channel and leave a comment asking them to wear a cheerleader outfit. That's right, back then you could leave comments on channels. And honestly, maybe it's for the best that that was taken away. This happened quite often, and the community took notice. Nowadays, when something like this would happen, the perpetrator would be chased off or banned for this kind of behavior. However, things were a lot different back then. We were a lot more naive to people's intentions. So instead, the community and those who were contacted by the Cheerleader Man did what he asked. People started making videos of their Sonic OCs dressed as cheerleaders. From speed paints to animations to comics, I myself fell victim to the Cheerleader Man as well. This became so commonplace that getting a comment from the Cheerleader Man was basically seen as a badge of honor in the community. Like, if you got a request from him, that means you were popular. So of course you had to make a video, especially if people could see the comment right there on your channel. Man, what the heck were we thinking? This kind of stuff still happens, and it's been around for so long that there's actually a term for this kind of thing now. It's called fetish farming. As you may have guessed, fetish farming is when someone gives an artist a seemingly innocent request or asks a question that seems harmless at first. Something like, can you draw Rouge the Bad burping? Or, is your OC ticklish in the armpits? Even the things I listed in the beginning of the video are real things that some of my friends have been asked before. Heck, Cheerleader Man wasn't the only time I personally experienced fetish farming. Back when I used Tumblr, I had to turn off anonymous asks because I would get someone on multiple occasions asking me to draw SNT and Sylveon wearing tutus. After what happened with Cheerleader Man though, I knew to ignore weird requests like that. I mean, yes, it seems innocent at first, but when it's asked multiple times on multiple occasions, you start to question their intentions. So you might be asking, well, what happened to Cheerleader Man? Was he finally chased out of the community? No, he just disappeared. As YouTube began to change, his fetish farming method stopped working. So he just kind of dropped off the face of the internet. Maybe he moved on to a different fandom and started harassing artists there. Maybe he got tired of his ways and stopped. I really don't know. I can only hope that he's learned his lesson, though I seriously doubt it. The moral of the story is, if you're a creator of some sort and you get a request or question that seems out of the blue, take a moment to stop and think. They could be attempting to use you to fuel their fetishes. And if you're someone out there that does these things, as Michael Jordan once said, stop it. Get some help. What you're doing is gross and manipulative. Remember, it's okay to have a fetish, but it's not okay to exploit artists' naivete to your own gain. And for Pete's sake, keep people's OCs out of it. Stay safe, guys.